do that first. Source Booksellers. What about this place?
Let's find out. The sign says open. Oh, wow.
Hello. Could I disturb you for a moment? I'm very good. How are you?
Good. Hi there.
I just wanted to stop in because I'm walking around Detroit and I'm dropping in to have like 5 minutes or less chats with small independent business owners for a podcast. Would you be interested? Or I know you have people here.
You know, I do it all the time.
All right. Well, would you mind, again, my name is Anthony. It's for myself. I have my own podcast, and I can give you a link to it. It's called So-Called Discoveries, and it's all about learning and discovering new knowledge and following your curiosities. I would love if you could just introduce yourself and say where we are and just tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay, so my name is Janet Webster Jones. I'm the founder and owner of Source Booksellers, which is a unique niche of nonfiction books in Midtown Detroit.
Excellent. And would you care to elaborate a little bit on the niche itself or the uniqueness?
Well, nonfiction is a niche of literary work, and we've chose that because we like it mostly, and it's unique because it's a niche and not a general interest bookstore. In other words, we don't have books of every category and variety, but we have primarily nonfiction.
Would do you consider is curation a big part of what you do?
Well, if you read the article by Ryan Raffaelli, who is a professor of business at Harvard Business School, and he did a 4-year study of independent bookstores, and he found that we all have 3 things in common: community, collaboration, and curation. So that's what bookstores do.
Can you speak a little bit more to the community aspect? I think I've heard a little bit about, you guys do events sometimes, don't you?
We do events both virtually, and we have some in-store events, and sometimes we have hybrid events. So we have author talks, sometimes we have book signings, sometimes we have story time. We just had Hooper from the Pistons was over here this week with a program that they have called Breakfast with Books. And so Hooper came and was on the screen, and they broadcast out to multiple schools and places where children are. Currently, we have a slow read that we're inviting people to join on every Sunday at 4 o'clock of a book that we're all reading together. Now, we don't have a book club here because that's a whole other thing, but we like to support and buy books for book clubs. But this is what we call a slow read, so people can read a book together and then talk about it.
That's wonderful. And just to close it up, a big theme of what we're doing here today is sort of chasing your dreams and that sort of a thing.
I'm not a dreamer.
You're not a dreamer.
I'm an action person.
You're an action.
Dreams will take you to dreamland,
Yeah.
but they may not get you started in a project. So no, I didn't dream this up. This was a result of opportunity and courage.
Thank you so much for that. Do you care to say anything about if somebody wants to try and find your business or if they want to get in touch, maybe online?
Yeah, we have our online sites, which are all of these. My bookmark is back there.
Okay.
But Source Booksellers, and just put that in, and lots of stuff will show up. Facebook, Eventbrite, Linktree on Instagram, our website, all that. Yeah, so just Source Booksellers.
Thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
What made you think this up? And who's your audience? Why are you doing this?
So I've been listening to podcasts since about 2015, and I've really, really enjoyed them and benefited a lot from them. I've learned a lot from them, and they've sort of helped me through a lot of things as well. And
Why'd you choose podcast?
Sorry?
Why'd you choose podcast avenue?
I chose podcasts accidentally, I think, because I was just watching a television show called Maron, and there's a comedian called Mark Maron, and he was one of the early podcasting pioneers. And the television show is before I watched that show, I had no idea what a podcast was.
I still don't. Source Booksellers.
A podcast, it's just, think of it as like,
Is it radio in another way?
yeah, it's like one episode of a show on a radio, one show on the radio, except it's not live. You record it in advance and then you put it online, and people go whenever they want to listen to it on their own time. And then, of course, you're not bound by the things that bind radio. You know, like the length of the episode, for example. Like you can have a podcast that's 2 minutes long. You can have a podcast that's 5.5 hours long, or longer. I think you're right, and I think we're kind of at a unique point where there's a big mix of people and like the cultures that they came up with and the things that they sort of become accustomed to and they think are normal. And I appreciate being asked the questions too, because I like the opportunity to like have to think about things, because you know a lot of other people that they might just be like very like polite and just say whatever and keep their thoughts to themselves, but I appreciate being asked the questions so I can think about it and then so I can respond. Yeah. I really appreciate you giving me some of your time today. I enjoyed the conversation.
Well, think about it. You don't have to enjoy it.
Exactly.
Bro, that was cool.
That was nice.
That was awesome.